finally, the communication bit, which I'm personally quite excited about, because it is a very, very subtle, and it can be very subtle. The way we talk to each other, it's always, or sometimes it's also difficult to if you imagine being an agent, and if people are calling you in advance having an issue and not being very happy, how do you handle that? So obviously a lot of training needs to happen, and even though it looks like something very, very obvious, it isn't always. So what we do in Sentient Machines platform, we monitor the dynamics between the sentiment of the customer and the sentiment of the agent, and then we look into the change, and is something that the agent is doing, is that somehow helping the customer, or is it not helping? And well, I'm gonna show you an example that I think is very interesting, where so we have bad, we call it bad to bad, and we have been asked many times if we have a bad to worse category, but we still keep it name of bad to bad because we think that's bad enough. But technically that means the customer was not happy at the beginning and it's just gotten worse. Now, is there anything the agent could do to help that? And I'm gonna play now a video where we're gonna pick the calls that end with negative or with like frustration, but also where an agent is actually using empathy. So, because usually you would say, well, actually, all you need to do is just be, empathetic. So that's it. Like that's the solution to your problem. But let's just see an example. I think it's more interesting than me talking about it. So I'm just selecting here some account management conversations, bad to bad. So this is the change I mentioned, and empathy. So this means there will be empathy from the agent side in this particular conversation, or in these three conversations.
Good afternoon, Hallwood Finance, Phil speaking.
Hi there. I've just waited for 15 minutes on your phone line, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, we are experiencing quite a high number of calls at the moment, so that is why you've had the long wait time.
It's like 15 minutes, it's a very long time.
That's quite average.
What, you're saying 15 minutes is an average call waiting time for your company?
For most companies, about 15 minutes is
I don't care.
average.
You shouldn't have to wait 15 minutes to talk to somebody anyway. Moving on.
So we're going to go back to this one particular sentence that I think is very interesting, where he says,
sorry, we are experiencing quite a high number of calls at the moment.
You think that's empathy, and it kind of is. Like if you,
so that is why you've had the long wait time.
But then the pitch goes in kind of the opposite direction. So the agent becomes irritated. Like it's kind of so he's kind of using the right script to begin with, and the right even tone. You could say it's like stable, but then it kind of goes downwards. And this is, I think, what the reason I like this example is because you can't really, like I always say that, AI is not black and white. It's not about, is there empathy in this call? It is about what happens after the empathy, what happens before, what happens like at the whole end of the conversation, what is the outcome? And to really understand that, you have to go deep into the analysis of human communication and then combine that with your algorithms. So and I didn't talk a lot again for the interest of time. You could have seen the annotations like apathy and the irritation. So these are the things that you want to avoid your agents using. So you don't even want this to be picked up in their tone of voice, because that should not ever happen, because otherwise we know what's gonna which category they'll be assigned to. So process of this particular, using sentient machines for identifying, I would say, strengths and weaknesses of your agents, are that you could really make it bespoke. You could really target and make it a very effective training process, and really have a very, very good overview and improve even efficiency of your QA process. So as opposed to just like typical, manually done QA reports. On the negative side, again, you have to give insights to these people. So someone needs to take on board, what needs to be done, and then improve this. And this is where, like I always talk about, combination of AI and human. And this is where I believe the humans need kind of, with the insight from AI, help other humans.